I wanted to show you how we've been handling BamBam in a informal sense, just to pick him up or pet him or something like that. So everybody here, and I just have a couple of my people with me right now, everybody here has always come with a treat. Good, like that. That's why he loves us so much now, and he's so much more comfortable. If I'm going to pick him up, treat, just like this. Hey, buddy. And these are just little dog treats. They're not special stuff like you're going to use, just a little turkey or chicken, or there's so many special just a little pinch of some sort of special people food, and it makes it extra good for him. So I'm just showing you with regular dog treats. So if he's interested in dog treats, he's really going to love the stuff you're going to give him. But always do it that way. You saw how if I was going to pet him, good, he's already munching on it and I pet him. Don't pet him too much at first. I can do whatever I want now. I don't need a treat. I can pet him. I can, kiss him or whatever, and he'll kiss me, maybe. Oh, yeah. And so, but that's because for weeks we did that, and I only, for a long time, just till he really got comfortable with me, I only did this. Hey, look, up here. Good. And I was finished with the pet before he was finished chewing on it. And after getting used to that, later on I could do whatever I wanted. So I would suggest you, your family, anybody that comes over, starts doing that, does it exactly like that. If you're going to pick him up, it's treat, and then just pick him up. Put my hand under his little chest and just hoisted him up. He loves that. He loves being picked up. I'm going to have the guys do it. Here you go. Here, you do the same thing, okay? Pet him, treat, and pet. Good. Don't push him though. There you go. Now treat and pick him up. Treat, pick him up. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Then go ahead and put him down. Nelson, do the same thing. Treat and pet first. Look, Nelson has treats for you, see? Good boy. Yeah. And then here's some more treats and pick him up. Just, there you go. Let him start eating first. There you go. And I don't think Nelson's ever picked him up before. Have you?
Never.
Okay. Yeah, so you see how comfortable he is here with all of us. And the reason he is because we took it slow. We never had a mistake. He never tried to bite anybody because we really took our time getting to know him. We didn't pet him too much. We didn't, come at him with overhand trying to pet him. We always, call if he was at a distance, we'd say come, and he has this great recall. And we do it exactly like this, and he got really comfortable, and now any of us can do this stuff now. So you should do exactly the same thing, and it should be fine. So we've approached the new person. Sit. Always approach, if you have a new person that you want to introduce him to, always have them stand somewhere in the designated spot, and we'll pick out a spot that's best to do a greeting routine at your house. And have him sit, walk him up about 6, 8 feet away, or like 8 or 10 feet away actually. Have him sit, step away, give the person a treat, and then see how he wants to go over there? We do this all the time, so he's really good at it. Go say hi. He gets the treat. You don't have to pet him. Come. He accepts a treat from a stranger. Good. You call him back to come to you. See how he turns himself to be on my left. Sit. And I'm just going to do it 3 times. A treat. He waits. Go say hi. Excellent. Good boy. It's a treat. Come. Comes back to you. Notice how when he comes to me, now I step into him and he goes on my left. I can even do a little left turn and he still goes along with my body there. Sit. When you reset him like that, you do a little left turn, it resets him, and it's really easy to get him kind of back on track, so to speak, and back in training mode. And notice how the leash is never tight. I'm not forcing him to go anywhere. And he's got his little sit-stay there, so he stays there till I come back. And I'm not doing this, I'm not holding him there. It's always loose. If he pops up, I might do that. But everything's very gentle with this little guy. It's always gentle with every dog, but especially with a little tiny dog like this, you want to be super gentle and sensitive to them getting stressed out, which he does easily. Go say hi. Last time. Come. That was a big piece, huh? Good boy. So all he knows every time that he does this greeting routine with somebody new, and this is a new person to BamBam, all he knows is that great things happen when new people show up, and approaching somebody he doesn't know, or anybody, because you want to do this with your family as well, because I know he had little nipping issues with certain members of the family before. You do this greeting routine, and then, okay, so he's on free time and we're just hanging out, and he goes over to that person again, and just for free, everything good happens when we're hanging out with new people. And you do this for a while with people, and don't pet him, but just allow him to accept gifts from them without asking for anything in return, so to speak. No petting, because that would, if you do it too much too soon with him, he could get scared. So you just keep giving him little treats, offer him a treat. Hey, a treat? Great. And if you see any kind of inkling of any kind of problem with him and somebody new or anybody, come, call him away. Good. So do this little greeting routine on a leash though. Although he's got a great recall, he's not off-leash trained yet. And the off-leashed, in my view, is where the dog never makes a mistake again, and you don't need a leash because he comes to you every time and does all the other training every time. So very few dogs are actually really off-leash trained, and he isn't yet. And I don't think you need that anyway. But always do this on a leash so you can gently but firmly reinforce that come command away from the person. And even if you do need it, most of the time he'll come to you. But don't do this without a leash, just in case. And that way it's always going to go your way. And he's just going to keep getting better and better and more comfortable with people. See, he walks up to the new person, hey, give me something else. Hey, he's already thinking, I like guys with hats, people I don't know. He's like, this is cool. And then before things get weird, come, because I don't want him jumping on that poor person. Call him away, and you got a treat on this side. So it's all just this fun game. When new people show up, it's party time, and you'll see he changes pretty quickly when he perceives that situation differently. I want to show you how I've been practicing the come command with a leash, of course, and that's why his come command is really good most of the time off leash, in the yard, in the house, wherever. It's because whenever I practice, when I'm actually practicing, I make sure I do it in a way that I'm always going to have success. So I always get the leash, hook him up, and then I know that if he for some reason would ignore the command, I could always gently but firmly reinforce it with the leash. And that's why he has such a good recall now, because all he knows is that he hears it once, he ends up coming back to me after one time, and something good happens. I always give him a treat too. So left hand leash, the loop is over your left hand like that, so you don't have to worry about it. Your hand is free, and there's no way that it can come off. And right hand, always reward, always call him to this closed target, because in an emergency, when you don't have a leash and you don't have a reward, it's going to work every time. He doesn't know it's empty, so I'll just do it without a treat now, and I'll even show him, hey, I'm not going to have a treat in here. Come. Good boy. If you need to get him for some reason, and he doesn't have a leash, just hook your hand underneath his little collar here. If he has a leash, grab the leash, and you got him. Make sure that your left hand always restrains him like that, so that he never gets used to coming, grabbing the treat, and then running off again, which a lot of dogs will do. But now I'm going to do it with a treat. I just want to show you how it works. Once we practiced it many hundreds of times at this point, and he just always wants to come to this. He doesn't know why. So now I have a treat. Come. I'm just going to kind of lead him. Look where we can go. Good. And I could pick him up, or I could hook my hand under his collar or grab the leash. But we're always backing away, because when you back away, the dog is drawn to you. I'm going to create a little distraction now and call him from a longer distance. So, hey, look at this. Go get that. Way over there, and then come. Coming back to me. Good boy. Good. Always back away. Always, when you're practicing, always call him away from something. Try not to, when you're practicing, call him to you when he's staring at you, because a real life situation, he's going to be moving away, he's going to be interested in something. Maybe you're walking him on the leash out in public and you want to call him away from something that's on the ground that you don't want him to get to, or another dog, or who knows, whatever else. And so that you always want to practice it in a real life context. So we'll do that again. He's distracted. Come. Calling him away from that. Comes to my right hand target. Good. And at the same moment, I grab the leash. So that's the way you want to practice. Come. Sit. And so I'm going to take him off the leash. Go. And do it without the leash and do a really long distance recall. I don't know. How do we show this? Why don't you, if you can show it. I'm going to throw this giant piece way over to the other side. Go. And there's a couple of pieces. He's going to go get the second one. Come. And he runs back to me from across the yard. Good boy. No leash. I hook my hand under his collar and I can pick him up or whatever. So you practice on the leash the way I showed you there, so that later on you have it off leash like we have it here. Here we go. Okay. Sit. You can lure him into a sit. Good. If he doesn't do it immediately, or you can, okay, sit, apply just a little bit of pressure, very little pressure, and he'll go there. I practice these sit stays. We do it at every doorway with him. We'll do it gateways, doorways. Nope. If he pops up, you say no. A little bit of pressure. We're just practicing. Nope. We're just practicing walking around him here like this. And it's a good thing to practice. Makes him think, makes him focus. Good. Not that you're going to be doing a ton of, regular dog training with him. He came here mostly because of his issue of being snippy and nippy and, scared, which he's a lot more confident now. But this is one of the things, this and the mat exercise and all the other stuff that we've been doing that gives him more confidence and teaches him how to think. When he's thinking and focusing and he's working for us like this, doing just a simple sit stay, no. He pops up, you say no. Just apply a little bit of pressure. It's very light. You're not hanging or choking him. When he's thinking and working for you like this, and he's really working hard to stay in the sit stay, and do one more walk around thing here. His brain is getting stronger. He's learning a higher level of focus. The brain is a muscle, of course, and when he's learning this kind of focus and good, practicing with us like this, the brain, as it gets stronger and develops more focus, is more immune to stress. And so doing this training the way we're showing you, the come command helps a lot too. Working for you and focusing and feeling safe, because that's the way he feels when you're doing these things. It makes him become more and more immune to stress. And that was his whole problem, was just getting stressed out and fearful of everything. So he's still waiting for me to release him. I always teach him, I've taught him to wait till I come back next to him and he's on my left, no. Make sure he really waits. And with my right hand, go. And I pat his chest and say go, and then he's free. So that's one way to release him. Sit. And then the other way to release him would be to keep training. Okay. And you could do okay and do like little left circles. Walk down the sidewalk. Sit, or around your backyard or around your house, and practice little sits. Treat. Okay. Just walk another 10 feet. I'm going to just do one more of these. I was running out of yard there, so I have to go back. Okay. Sit. Good. And then, you could tap his chest and say go, and he's free, or release him to walk with you. Okay. Like that. Sit. We always have BamBam sit before we send him to the crate. And you see how the leash is always loose there? If he pops up, you can tap it and release a little bit, but there's no tight tension on the leash ever. With my right hand, I'm going to pat his chest and say, go to your mat, and walk over with him and say down. And this is a little exercise that we do every day. Sometimes when he's kind of happy or excited, he won't go down and stay there right away, but he's been pretty good. No. Good. Put it on the mat and he takes it off the mat. Make sure that he's not grabbing it out of your hand, pushing your hand or whatever. See how if he pops up out of that stay, you say no. And really, I'm not even forcing him down. He sees my foot go like that and he just goes down because he knows how this goes. And you can just do simple stuff like this. Walk around him, make sure nope. Make sure he really waits. Good. And this is very much a calming exercise for him and a confidence building exercise. He has to focus. He practices a higher level of focus because he knows he has to stay in a down stay no matter where I go, no matter what I do. Nope. Good. He has to focus and wait respectfully until I place the reward on the mat and withdraw. So there's a lot of thinking he has to do in this exercise, that the byproduct of doing that is that when I release him, he's a little bit more focused every day. He's a little bit calmer. Building focus in the dog, teaching him how to think at a higher level and focus at a higher level builds up their immunity to stress. And that's what he needs. He needs to not get so stressed out by little things like he used to. Nope. See how I pulled back? And he put himself back. So he's really learning this exercise well. No. Nope. Nope. You might have to do that several times. Good. For him, the downstay was really difficult at first, and we did a lot of practicing. So we're in a yard where it's fenced, and if I drop the leash and walk away, it's totally safe. So I'm just going to walk farther away and come back. We can do this in the house, of course, as well. Do it anywhere. This exercise. Good. I'm going to go way far behind him over here. And it's cool if he turns his head to look at me, but we don't want him getting up and turning his body. But what he did there was just fine. Good. And there's obviously a million things that you can do at your house to kind of push the envelope and find out what triggers him to pop up, like even, nope. That's how you put him back. Don't say down again. You already said down once. We want that first down command we want him to know that that first time could be for 5 minutes if need be, and that's usually how long I practice this every day, for 5 minutes. Pulling on a leash like this is very often, he's hanging onto it with his paws. That's unusual. A lot of dogs don't do that. See, pulling on it makes him get up, so no. So we're going to practice with this little problem he has. So one way to do that, if you encounter something that he has difficulty with and you want to work through it, if you work through this, he'll be a little bit better every time you work through a problem like this. So you want to say down, remind him what to keep doing when you pull on it. Good, and I pulled fairly hard that time and he stayed there. Let's try it again. I'm going to stand farther away. Down, see that? Good. Gave him a big chunk of doggy treat there. So he made a mistake. I pulled on a leash. He made a mistake. He popped up. I put him back. And then I tried it a few more times. And this is kind of the way it is after the dogs practice this for a number of weeks. They get it. Oh, this is just one more thing that I need to ignore and stay here no matter what happens. And then I get paid. So you kind of go down the list of all these things that you can do that would trigger him to pop up. And you just, one by one, good. Work with him until he gets it, oh, I'm not going to move when they do that. And then it makes him better and better and better and better because he's got this whole list of things that he knows no matter what, he's going to stay there. And pretty soon he realizes, I don't care what it is, I'm going to stay here until my owner comes back to get me and release me. No. See how that is? Apparently, one thing that triggers him to pop up is boredom when I talk too much like this. So that's why he's popping up. So we're going to release him. Only way he gets up out of this, off this mat, out of this exercise, is you come back next to him, you pat your leg and say, okay, walk him off the mat and have him sit, and then release him, make sure that he really waits, tap his little chest and say, go, and then he's free. And then you can do whatever you want, pick him up, kiss him on the head, whatever you want to do. Okay, we're going to show you how we use the crate with BamBam. Sit. I always walk him up to the crate, and he loves going in the crate because good things happen. In his mind, nope, good things happen. And this is actually a tool for training. You see how excited he is? He wants to run in there. He has to actually stay in a real sit stay and wait for permission to go in. So you open the door, and in this case though, I'm going to show you what you might have to do. Go! You toss a treat in there, and he follows it in. He's never been in this crate before out in the yard, so he hesitated for a second. Good boy, he gets treats in there. If you toss the treats in, he'll follow it in, and then you close the door behind him, and good boy. Reach in and unhook that leash off of his collar. And then it's really simple to take him out. He's not wearing any special training collars or anything like that, just his regular little buckle collar that has his tags on it. And when you go to take him out, what we've always done is, first thing that we do is we reach in and give him a treat, because he's not allowed to run out. He has to wait until we reach in and hook him up to the leash. If he tries to come out, you can just say no. Just do kind of like little bounces of the door like that. If he tries to come out, no. You just say that and do that. And then when he waits, when he doesn't come out, give him a treat. So if he tries to come out, you say no, no treat. If he waits at that boundary without coming out like this, he gets treats. So he learns pretty quickly that he needs to wait there, and good stuff happens. And then you allow him out by saying, okay, and he comes out then. And this is his routine that he does all day long. Sit, we have him sit, and then we take him outside through the front door or wherever we're going. Go. This crate is a little bit bigger than the one that he has in the house. That's the next size down, but you could have this size if you wanted to give him extra space in there, but the one that's in the next size down is plenty big enough as well. But if you use a crate this way, you are using it as a means for training. It's a training routine because he loves being in there. He eats in there. He sleeps overnight in there. He gets chewies and treats every time he goes in. Anytime hands come in there to get him out or put him in, they come with treats. So he loves it when hands come into the crate, as opposed to feeling intimidated by that. And I give him little things to chew on only in there. He gets all his treats and his chewies only in there. And then when you control his access going in there, in and out, it makes him perceive you as much more of the person in control. So that's another reason why we do it. So it's a good thing to do as long as you do it the way that we're doing it. And if you physically can't do the sit and the wait and all that stuff, at least let's pretend, so this is the abbreviated version, at least have him on a leash and then send him in, and then when he goes in, come on, get in there, silly. And then when he goes in, he gets a treat and you unhook him. But at least make sure that he perceives going in there as a really great thing. And then when you take him out, let's say you have somebody that's not able to kneel or bend over, at least take him out and go like this. When you open that door, make sure he doesn't burst out, and then give him a treat. And then you say, okay, BamBam, come on, let's go, come on out. At least try to control this boundary like that. I'd like it if you did it the way that I did it with the leash, but if you can't, at least make sure you're not stuffing him in the crate, slamming the door, closing the door, locking him in, and make sure you're not, when you open the door, he doesn't rush out, because then there's really not much use in the crate other than kind of confining him in a box. So if you use it the other way, it just really adds to his confidence and the way he perceives you.